I'm a nutritionist and I'm in intermittent fasting for so many years, and the biggest takeaway that I've learned is that what you eat really matters with intermittent fasting if you want to see any results. So today I'm sharing exactly what I eat in a day of intermittent fasting in order to support my wellness goals, and also the key things that you should be looking out for in each of your meals if you are looking to achieve a weight loss goal with intermittent fasting. My name's Autumn. I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's in nutrition human performance, and today's video is sponsored by Kettle and Fire. More on them in a bit. And I follow about a 15 to 16 hour daily fast with a 3 meal a day structure. I've shared in the past more of my actual entire intermittent fasting schedule, like my workouts, my morning walk, the electrolytes during that time. So I'm not going to dive too deep into that, but I will have a video linked down description below that goes really into detail on my intermittent fasting schedule. But I wanted to really focus on the actual food because this is so often forgotten and so important. So I do technically break my true fast at around 8 a.m. when I'm having my coffee, because I do add heavy cream. Granted, because I'm only adding heavy cream and I keep it to about a tablespoon, so less than 1 net gram of carbohydrates or protein, this doesn't raise insulin levels, and therefore I'm still using fat as fuel and keeping insulin levels lower. This is called fasting mimicking. So I'm still getting a lot of the same great benefits of intermittent fasting, but I have consumed a bit of food. But I do well and truly break my fast at about 10:30 a.m. It's about 10:30, so I'm just about to break my fast. So while I'm making my food, I'm actually going to be having my ACV sipper. This is something that I share a lot of details on how to use it and the benefits within the complete intermittent fasting bundle, which is my intermittent fasting programs. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this and add a little bit of sea salt, but I like to have this about 10 to 15 minutes before I'm actually going to eat to help stabilize blood sugar levels and just make that transition from a fasted to a fed state a lot more smooth. Usually you guys know I'm like the smoothie queen, but it is fall, so I'm kind of feeling like a warm break fast. So I'm actually going to be making a super quick protein pancake. I have a half of a banana. This was actually a frozen banana because I didn't have any fresh bananas, and I just let it sit out until it kind of thawed. So I'm just gonna add it straight to the bowl. Since I'm using such a small amount, it still keeps the sugar content really low of this pancake. But if you are really carb sensitive, you could always use about a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree instead. Okay, so next I need to add an egg. These are actually the eggs from my chickens. Okay, so I'm just going to add 1 egg in, and this will add about 6 grams of protein right here. And then about a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon or so of vanilla extract. And the flavor combination I really like using in pancakes is using cinnamon and nutmeg. About maybe like a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and then about a 1/4 or an 1/8, somewhere in that range, a teaspoon of nutmeg. If you haven't tried that combination before, it's a must. It's so good. And then the final ingredient is like the most important ingredient, which is my 0 sugar protein powder. It's sweetened with monk fruit extract, so it has 0 grams of sugar, and it uses a really high quality pasture raised whey isolate, so extremely low on lactose. Okay, so I'm gonna use 2 scoops, which is about 20 grams of protein right there. So I'm gonna be cooking this in some ghee on medium, yeah, like probably medium heat for like a couple minutes on each side. So while the pancakes are cooking, I'm also going to heat up some just like warmed blueberries. Blueberries are also generally a little bit lower in sugar. I'm only going to use probably about like a 1/4 to a 1/3 of a cup. So this total meal has about 26 grams of protein, and it's relatively low in sugar, especially because instead of using something like syrup, I'm using the cooked down low sugar fruit, which saves me probably about like 50 grams of sugar because of the maple syrup swap. Now I do work from home, so I am able to make meals for myself rather than having to prep them in advance. But even back when I did work in more of an office setting, I still made meals like this. Usually just made them a couple days in advance for multiple days, and then just kept them in the fridge and then warmed it up when I was ready to eat it at work. So even if you do have a busier job, you could still make something like really delicious like this, and that did not take me very long, especially if you're making it in bulk. As a nutritionist, the main things I focus on with each of my meals, not just my break fast when I go to break my fast, but I always make sure they're packed with protein, fat, and fiber in that order. Protein being the most important, then fat, then fiber. Protein helps keep me satiated, helps to prevent muscle loss, helps to maintain metabolism, and it's essential, meaning that our body needs to be getting it every day. It also helps protect from bone loss. Fat helps to maintain satiety, helps to also stabilize blood sugar levels, provides fat-soluble vitamins that are also needed by the body every day. And it's a really stable energy source, so you aren't going to get those energy crashes, which for me, being self-employed, is really important to make sure my energy levels are always like way up here. And then fiber is something we can get from a lot of different types of foods. One of my favorites is actually chia seeds, but basil seeds is also like really high up there. It's impressive. And that's for more of the short-term satiety. It acts on the stretch mechanism within the stomach, telling our brain like right when we're eating that we're full, we're satisfied, and we don't need to keep eating. But if you load up on fiber and you don't get enough protein and fat, you're not going to get the hormonal sense of satiety. So you're going to be hungry as soon as that fiber leaves your stomach. And a big sign of that is if you're feeling hungry within 1 to 2 hours, huge red flag that you are not getting enough protein or fat. Which if you're liking this video so far, it would really mean the world to me if you gave this video a thumbs up. It's a free way to support my channel and really goes a long way. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Lunch was around 2:30 and I quickly made a chicken curry salad using leftover chicken, some chopped celery, red onion, salt, and curry powder. I used the very last of my avocado oil-based mayo, which wasn't enough, so I also added a drizzle of olive oil. I actually had enough chicken where I split this into 2 servings and saved the extras for the next day. In fact, chicken and egg and tuna salads are really fast and easy lunches to make when you're short on time and need to make a protein, fat, and fiber-rich meal that can be done in bulk for the week. I also added some chopped purple cabbage for a bit of crunch and fiber. So for the last meal of the day, I'm going to be making this spin on a pasta recipe that I've been wanting to test out. It's a pumpkin sausage pasta, but instead of using pasta, I'm using spaghetti squash. This really lowers the starch content, helps make my blood glucose levels much more stable than if I were to use pasta, and it's so much more nutrient dense. Plus this pasta sauce that I make is so flavorful, you do not even miss the pasta. I created a whole blog post on this recipe, so I will have that full recipe linked down description below, but it uses a combination of freshly grated Parmesan, canned pumpkin, heavy cream, onions, garlic, nutmeg, spicy Italian sausage, and Kettle and Fire bone broth. I love combining high quality bone broth like Kettle and Fire with other complete proteins like the sausage. It really helps to boost satiety when you combine collagen, which is naturally in bone broth, with protein. So it's been especially useful for me for preventing sugar cravings. I used to always want dessert right after dinner, and ever since I've been getting adequate protein and also combining protein with collagen, I don't really crave dessert anymore. Tonight I'm using the original bone broth. It goes really well with a lot of different recipes, so it's able to slowly cook down and just becomes part of the sauce. It is so good. You guys need to try it. And Kettle and Fire has been a long time supporter of my channel. I only really work with brands that I personally use and love, and I love how convenient and high quality Kettle and Fire is. So if you want to test Kettle and Fire out, they're actually offering my viewers 20% off plus free shipping by using code AutumnBates at checkout. So make sure you stock up on your Kettle and Fire bone broth using code AutumnBates at checkout, but I'll also have the link down description below. Then once the actual sauce is done, I toss it together with the cooked spaghetti squash, and it's just beautiful. So much flavor. It's actually a pretty easy meal to make. So make sure you check out the blog post that I will have linked down description below so that you can get the step-by-step details on how to make this recipe. It's amazing. Your family won't even miss the pasta. Now, after my last meal, I don't actually typically eat anything else. Sometimes I'll have dessert, but lately, because I am so satisfied from my meals, I have not even craved any type of sugar or any type of dessert, but that doesn't mean it's the last thing that I consume. So I am technically fasting at this point, but there are a couple of things that I do like to add in during the fast to help get more benefits from my intermittent fast. And lately, one thing that I've been having pretty much every night is ginger turmeric tea. So I buy this one ginger turmeric burdock tea. It's just dried ginger, dried turmeric, and dried burdock root. It doesn't break a fast, and I don't add anything else to it. But from a gut health perspective, having that after the last meal really helps to kickstart the migrating motor complex, which is our gut cleaning pathway. And it's kind of crazy because you can almost hear it working because ginger is so strong at kickstarting that MMC, which helps to flush out food and bacteria that would normally cause bloating, that you can actually hear your stomach starting to make like gurgling noises, which might sound like you're hungry, but you're actually not. It's just the GI tract stimulating and moving things along. So it's pretty cool. So I sip on that while we watch TV. And then I also take magnesium. So I aim for about 500 milligrams of magnesium. I found that's a good amount for me to actually get the benefits of the improved muscle recovery as well as improved sleep quality, and I just take that with a bit of water. And if you want more details on my actual intermittent fasting schedule, including more details of what I actually do during the fasting window to maximize results, you should check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love this science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.